But here we are. You hear it. I have music for this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
This is the 6th episode of Roddy Radio, subsidiary of Roddy TV. It's a podcast that is stemming from everybody's need to listen to my voice in English, my very much broken English, because English is my second language. It's called Roddy Radio because Roddy TV, and now we're going back to radio. Next year we'll throw something out called Roddy Telegraph. But today we have full house here from Alta Red fame. We have Maria here, who I didn't even know you knew English, actually, until today. So
What?
I'm glad you were able to make it.
I thought you didn't know English. I swear to you.
Did you really when you met me?
Yeah.
You thought I didn't know English?
Because
That's
every
good.
time I say something to you, you reply in Spanish, and I'm like, oh, shoot.
That's good. I tell people at work that I don't know English, too. Especially when they're asking for help. I'm like... But we also have another special guest here. The band, what's the band's name? Semore? Is that how you pronounce that?
Oh, that was another band.
Oh, okay. So what's this band? How many fucking bands are you guys in? That's what I want to know.
We used to be called Time Freaks, but we lost a member, so today we chose the name Frog Breath.
Okay.
Yep.
Just today you chose that name.
Yeah. Right before we came here.
That's pretty cool. You know, back in...
Improvise.
yeah, when I was a youngin', there was a band called Frog Marble. They were a funk band. That was not a bad band. But let's go ahead and start meeting you guys. I have Izzy. You're the connection, actually, because I know your mom.
Little shout out.
What do you play?
I play the drums for this band.
You play the drums.
I play lead guitar for the Semore band.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. I didn't know you play guitar too. That's cool.
Yeah.
And so we got what's your guys' names?
My name is Jamon. I play bass guitar for this band, but I also am vocals from the other band that me and him are in.
Jamon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty much Jamon. Get it.
And I'm Canon, and I play guitar and I sing.
Okay.
And
Sounds good.
sometimes for like one song a show, we'll switch and I play drums, but
Oh, you like
very
the
rarely.
switching stuff like that? Huh?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's good. Very
Just for fun.
very free. Very.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that kind of energy in a band, which is just something that's just really interesting. That I mean, you guys were already kind of talking about like influences and stuff. You guys are a lot younger than I am, but I mean, I remember the stuff we listened to before when we decided to start playing in bands. It was a lot older than the stuff you guys are mentioning. So I mean, let's start there. Just some of the simple stuff. What are your influences?
There's a lot, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
What would?
Smashing Pumpkins, one of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Very
definitely
easily.
like.
That kind of sloppy sound. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay.
What other bands do we?
Ooh, that we really like.
Yeah,
Fight.
I mean we all listen to a lot of different
really.
stuff, but our main influences probably just be like the shoegaze genre, just like maybe little Nirvana or something.
Some distorted guitar.
Yeah.
Really.
Basically.
Yeah, and then sometimes we'll switch it up and play like jazzy stuff.
Yeah.
but
Some sort
I've heard that word before. Shoegaze. What's a example? What's a band that's a shoegaze band?
Ooh, My
Bloody Valentine.
Oh, okay.
Or
an example.
yeah,
Slow Dive.
Slow
Yeah,
Dive, a little bit
definitely.
of David Bowie as well.
Love it of his songs.
yeah,
Does the Cure count?
Oh
yeah.
The Cure?
I would
Yeah,
say
that
they
would
count.
sound-
So pretty
Yeah.
much, what you're telling me is it's just a new word for like emo or even goth.
Well, it kind of
like a
means
melancholy.
Mhm.
yeah.
Sometimes.
Shoegaze kind of the term means like a certain tone. So like when the guitarist has a ton of pedals,
Oh, okay.
he's always staring at his shoes, so they call it shoegaze.
Really?
And then
I thought it was because sad people are always looking
Yeah,
down.
well, yeah,
Same-
kind of
same
like people in the
difference.
crowd,
Yeah.
like that. It attracts. They are always staring at their shoes. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
what I always assumed when I heard the term shoegaze is like it's got to be around the emo thing because we
Yeah.
all looked at our shoes when we were sad.
definitely
Ooh,
has
yeah.
something to do with that.
This is all new to me. I listen to reggaeton and banda.
You're not much into rock, man?
Not really. No. Rap. I listen to rap.
Do you guys like rap?
Oh,
Yeah, I love rap.
Hip-hop.
Yeah.
We love hip hop.
Yeah.
That's what we started on, like something like that.
That
Yeah.
influences us a bit, I
It
guess.
really
Definitely.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about that with the episode 3, I believe, with a friend of mine who I played in a band when we were 13 years old. We were talking about how back in the day, we're talking, this had to be 2001, 2001, and we did the band. We were really hard to categorize. Everybody was always wondering, like, are you guys fucking metal? Are you guys punk? What are you? But back then, you kind of had to be something, and that's why nobody really dug our band. And we're talking about how nowadays I think that band could have done something, because now I think everybody's looking for that, for a band that can have like a multiple genre kind of thing.
True.
Yeah,
Everyone's hungry for something new. I feel like every day I wake up and I want to listen to something different and new and something I haven't heard of before.
And streaming music is so easy, and your phone like finds all kinds of new stuff for you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We like a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it was. I mean, we would write our own songs and you know, we'd start to freestyle over some parts and stuff, but back then it was just unheard of and nobody liked that. And now it's like, man, we were before our time, I think. So but yeah, I mean, you guys were touching on this a little bit about originality. You guys do play some covers then?
Yeah.
We used to.
We used to play a lot of covers with our old Time Fix band, but with this one, we haven't even put a cover on the
new set list.
Yeah, the new set list. Yeah, just because we want a bunch of originals and it's fun making the music.
Yeah, I feel like over the time we've kind of just grown a bond together, and it makes it a lot easier to just jam on new stuff instead of trying to play a song just like it was played before.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's why everybody thinks I'm like so creative and great that I write my own songs and stuff. But it was because I never was good enough to learn anybody else's songs. I was like, I don't want to sit there and learn. I'll just make it up myself.
Yeah.
But so what's that like? You guys write songs. You guys start jamming out and.
Yeah, usually it'll start with like one chord progression or like a bass line, and then I'll just play something over it, and Izzy will just be jamming on the drums, and then it all just kind of comes together.
We like have learned to switch at the same time too, which
it's insane.
Yeah.
We're all just in our own rhythmic.
4, 8, 16, just a bunch of different counts. So
it's fun.
That's good. That's good. That's definitely the jam. The feeling when you start to jam and you start to feel the other musicians is definitely something special.
For sure.
And so, what made you guys even want to pick up an instrument? Let's start with you.
I was just kind of bored, and my older brother had a guitar, so I just kind of started playing it, and then I got really into bass. So I was like really into that for a good year, and then I was making a band with Jamon and Bella. Actually, he didn't come in until later, but I guess a lot of the songs on the drums were too hard, and I was able to play them. So me and him switched instruments, and he started playing bass. So I've just gone through all three, but I recently came back to guitar.
That's good. And so your brother had a guitar. Does he play, or did he just have a guitar?
He doesn't play anymore. He'll play for like the first week and then put it away.
And then just stay there. Yeah, that's why I asked, because the guitar that was at my house belonged to an uncle of mine who was living with us. He went on a trip and died in a car accident. The guitar was just with us forever after that. My brother picked it up for a little bit and learned a few chords, but then it was just always hanging on the wall. So then I would always take it down and start messing with it, and that's, you know, just start kind of going from there, and you kind of meet people at school and other places. You decide to start bands, and that's and for me anyway, when I was a little kid, even stuff that my parents were listening to, I was listening to those guitar parts and stuff that wasn't even so heavy. It was just like, that's interesting, and so I would try to replicate that sound on the guitar. And that's kind of where I started. So that's why I was asking, you know, like, your brother had a guitar, but did he actually play it? Because I think a lot of people pick up somebody else's instrument, somebody else's abandoned instrument.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it starts. What about you guys?
Ooh, well, like Izzy was saying, like, I was actually supposed to be the drummer in what we first started. But, like, everything that we wanted to cover and learn was just too difficult for me at the time. So he was like, just try bass. And I tried bass, and then it ended up making me get into acoustic and electric and everything else, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I've just really progressed since then.
Yeah. For me, I, got put into piano lessons when I was little by my mom, and then my piano teacher told my mom to take me out of it because, I wasn't meant to play music, and so I was like, well, I just like sports better anyways. I don't even like playing the piano, so it was an easy way to get out of that. And then I got injured too many times in sports, and so
So I have to go back.
I had
hobby.
just like broken my ankle for the 3rd time, and so I was like, well, I have nothing to do now. I picked up a guitar and just learned it for the last like 5 or 6 years I've been playing.
Oh wow!
And I like it a lot.
So what sports were you playing where you kept getting injured?
Football, baseball, basketball,
Okay.
and then
Which
eventually
one?
got into
What
skateboarding.
were you playing when you broke your ankle? The
First time was football, and then second time I was actually cliff jumping, and I hit a rock. But the 3rd time was skateboarding.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do all 3 of you skateboard?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely part of the culture for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I
I think
never
that's how you
skateboarded
meet a
myself.
lot of people
Yeah.
that are interested in the same things as you.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, at least probably more than half of any crowd we ever drew back in the day was kids with skateboards. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's how I met Izzy. I met him at the skate park,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and we got that.
We don't even
bond.
go to the same school. He's a year younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
we,
no.
2 completely different districts, and
Yeah.
just became good friends, and we haven't lost that bond in like 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
I met Izzy because I'm in the same grade as his older brother. And so I would always like see him like sometimes, just like never thought anything of it though. And now like we're playing music together a lot.
Yeah.
And the older you get, you're gonna see that. I mean, how old are you two?
I'm 15.
I'm 14.
Yeah.
I'm 19.
See, and right now, isn't that like a whole? They all look the same age, don't they?
Yeah,
I think so.
yeah.
I thought they
Talking
were all
about
the
this. We
same.
said
Yeah.
we could all 3 switch our ages. They would believe us.
They would
Yeah.
believe it.
Which
For
now
sure.
I'm
Well,
not
I
sure
thought
who
they
the
were
hell
about
they
like 17, 18.
I thought they were all in like in high school. Yeah.
Yeah, in high school. But then he said 14. Like, what?
Yeah.
Dang.
No, but and right now it's surprising if anything that you're hanging out with these guys just because you're that much older.
Yeah.
But it's funny, like I remember there was this like when I was like 18, 19 and I was working at a call center, and there'd be like attractive girls that were like only 17 or only 18 and I was 19, so I'd be like, oh, they're too young.
Yeah.
And now they're 35, so I'm like, fuck, they weren't too young at all. Just the older you get, like the more you get into
Yeah.
it's like
For
I feel
sure.
like we're in the same age group.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're
A third
a
of
handful
you.
of years younger than me. You're my brother's age, right?
Yeah.
And that's something else I wanted to touch on actually, and just talking about my brother reminded me, just because it's so different in just a couple decades, culture in high school, and it's just so different. I always go back and cite 21 Jump Street, where they go back to school and everything's fucking all the way backwards.
Yeah.
Do people still look at you funny because you're a Mexican that likes rock music or not?
No, I think it's like, just like, I don't know, gotten more common, I guess, throughout time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Sure.
I go to Thunder, and that's definitely where you don't see a lot of people like
Any
me.
school
Like,
to be
it's
metal.
almost-
Are you kind of standing out when you're? in
Well, I
school?
guess, but I just feel like I'm a person who likes to like express how they dress, if that makes sense, and I definitely picked that up from him. You know, just picking up my own style and how I would prefer to dress.
Yeah, and that's why I'm asking, because it was hard, and that's what reminded me of my brother. I mean, you kind of knew my brother a little bit when you were in high school, right, Maria?
Yes.
And so, I mean, because I was in high school with him, because again, I'm 4 years older than him. Did people even know what he was into?
No, not really.
Could you
he
tell?
was really quiet.
Could you tell he was like a rock kid, like a ska punk kid?
A little bit. I think because of his hair.
Oh, he had long hair.
Yeah, he
back
had
then.
long
yeah,
hair.
Yeah, he had kind of
Yeah.
like this kind of thing
Yeah,
going on.
yeah.
I thought maybe a little
I was
longer.
actually gonna pull it up right now because last year I took a picture of the our yearbook from
Oh, yeah?
rugby, and it popped up on my memories today, and I was like, hey, there's
Yeah,
your brother.
my brother Bruce, and that was the same thing. He was. I mean, ever since he was a little kid, like 3 years old, we'd bust out the pots and pans and try to drum that way. And he always wanted to drum. He got into 5th or 6th grade, and they started band, and he wanted to be the drummer. But everybody wants to be the drummer in the school band, so they said he had to either take piano lessons or try something else. So he just went ahead and tried something else. And he ended up learning drums just by himself on the side, and we played together. And then we started playing in like all the Mexican groups that we played in, and he was always the drummer. But he actually picked up the trumpet that's what he does with his life now. He graduated from Indiana University, Jacobs School of Music in Indiana, and so he has his master's in music performance. That's all he does with his life now. He works at a music store. He gives music lessons, and he plays in a mariachi, and he plays in like front porch band that he plays in. That's all he does. He doesn't have like a job.
That's awesome.
So it's like, it's definitely something you can do, and it's something that people would look at him weird. And he was definitely, he was that real quiet kid in school, like Maria said, but he had his stuff going on. And back then, of course, like we were so much into ska and punk, and the Misfits and Operation Ivy, all those old bands, and then we started just getting more and more. Izzy on that, yeah. see, and he's got his checkered shirt on because he was a ska kid.
Yeah, right there.
And just to see that progression, and then of course, but we did always love Mexican music also. So it was one of those things where all these white kids thought it was, or all these Mexican kids thought it was weird that we liked rock music. But then, we'd start playing Mexican music, and all the white kids thought we were weird. So it's like we're just fucking weird, I guess. And so, but I think you just got to keep playing, and it doesn't matter what genre you're playing or who you're playing with. You just got to keep playing.
Yeah.
And it's the only way you're going to start improving. And but to me, I mean, I remember there was this girl named Samantha in my high school, and she was supposed to be like this hippie chick and like really cool, and I was pretty cool with her. But I had my acoustic guitar with me one day, and she was like, and she, she's like a hippie chick, so she's kind of progressive, and she was like, and so she sees me with my acoustic guitar, and she's like, "Don't you think that's a little stereotypical?" I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" She's like a Mexican with an acoustic guitar. I'm like,
oh, that's
what the fuck? And so like I was pretty, it kind of upset me, and I'm like, what the fuck are you even talking about? And just stuff like that. And that's why I wanted to ask. I mean, I think it's just the fact now that everybody is cool. I mean, back then too, homie named Ramon, San Ramos. Yeah, so wait, do you know that fool? Escobar? He's from out in Rigby.
Maybe I've heard the name.
He was like the best skater in school, and he was a Mexican kid, and everybody was always like,
well, like it's weird.
Yeah, like a weird that this Mexican, y pues se vestía cholillo y todo like the rest of us, but he was on a skateboard. So.
I think it, like, back in our time, we were starting to see like the clash of cultures, like everybody kind of starting to mix together, because it was always like, you can only be this, you can only be that, but I think once like we started getting all these people from California, we started getting like a mix of everybody. Yeah. Like I remember when skinny jeans were not in. Like, they would make fun of the girls that would come from California with skinny jeans.
I wish it was still like that.
Me too.
Now that's the most popular.
Yeah, the girls are wearing the baggy ass shit right now though.
Yeah.
It's like the worst baggy stuff. Though, I feel like it's like the most basic like pink cargos, and like it's just like there's nothing cool.
It's just off the rack kind of stuff. I mean, and I mean, how important is that to you guys? Like, how the correlation with style and music?
Pretty important. I feel like we dress like what our music sounds like. Except for me right now. I look like a granola.
You just came off
You
of
look
that.
like you hike.
You just came off of that mountain to do this.
Yeah.
But style's been something I've been really getting into the past like 2 years.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah.
Just that 90s style is my favorite.
Yeah.
The baggy swaggy pants. That's my favorite. You just go all out.
So that's like coming back.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, but things always come back, because we always used to make fun of like my parents' bell bottoms in their pictures. Yeah. And then for a while we all had they just didn't call them bell bottoms anymore, but they were fucking bell bottoms. I would always buy the jeans at JCPenney had the sneaker cut jeans.
Okay.
So they were like tied up here, but they could cover your sneakers. So it was like, it's a fucking bell bottom. This is what my mom would tell me. It's like, pantalones acampanados. But I mean, just fashions come back, and it's just kind of sad that you guys speak of the 90s like they were so long ago, and I'm like...
Somebody was saying that some kid asked, when were you born? And they said like 1997. Oh, you're from the late 1900s.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, what?
You even start with 19, and it's like, holy shit.
I don't know. I wish I was born during that generation and era just to live through all like
Yeah.
I was reading something, or no, listening to something on TikTok, and this girl was saying how the 90s, like, it was just so much more wholesome, you know, and like it just made so much sense.
I think we just picked to remember the wholesome stuff though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Switches back and forth.
Especially for us, because we didn't live through that, so we
You just see the
probably
cool
like
shit.
romanticize it, even though we weren't even there. But
Yeah.
like,
I think we did that too with like 70s and
Yeah,
80s.
same.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd have like 60s day at school, so it's like, yeah, let's all dress like hippies and shit. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
it's like, why don't we beat up the black kid while we're at it? You know what I mean? Like, that's what the 60s were really like.
what
But
was the like to me? I'm like, what was the 90s? What was how did they dress? I don't know. To me, it was just normal.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, it's like, doesn't feel like 90s style. It's just clothes. But with as far as like when you guys first started gigging, I mean, when did you guys first start gigging, like individually?
Me and him, we all started on the same day. We had a show
pretty
date
much.
and we got prepared in like 2 days. But it was about 2 years ago in October.
Yeah.
That was all of our first performance.
What day? October.
October 16th,
Yeah,
2021.
16th, I believe.
Yeah. I had played one show before that because I was in a band with my buddy in high school. And it was in a garage. It was like a fundraiser type thing. And we got like 500 people into a big garage.
Wow.
And it was hot, but we played like a little battle of the bands with this band called The Lakes.
Alright, dude.
And we were called The Stomps.
We love the lake. Shout
Yeah,
out the lake.
and that was really fun. It was just like all our friends gathered in a big room, like half the high school, and then didn't do anything until I played with these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from then on, we just had a show every month, basically.
Mm.
That's pretty good, and that's something. I mean, I've noticed you guys are, fairly active. Like I never saw that kind of activity back in the day, So it's good to see that the scene seems to be strong.
Yeah, we
I
really
think
need
it's
a
really
scene
cool.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
awesome.
like seriously, it's really cool to see like young kids like you guys getting into something that you love and that like you're interested in, not just being bored and
Yeah,
getting into
wanting to fit
trouble.
Yeah.
Getting
for sure.
in drugs or.
Yeah, it's definitely something positive to focus on. It's really
And
fun.
just have fun with.
Yeah.
Yeah, like actually doing something with your life.
Yeah. Even just playing tiny shows is so fun because we get to play in front of anyone. But
Anything
sometimes,
to build the scene is just
yeah.
fun.
Sometimes it'll be like really crowded in a basement and stuff,
Yeah.
but sometimes it's like 15 people.
Sometimes that's the best show.
Yeah, but then
sometimes we play the best
we'll
when
play
there's 10
better.
people.
Yeah, it'll just be more fun because
It-
there's less pressure, I guess.
It definitely depends on like the excitement that you have and like how you're feeling beforehand. at
And the
show.
energy that the crowd's giving off. I always
Exactly.
like that.
Yeah, but like it all based on like when you first walk up on stage and how you're gonna view how everything's
Yeah.
gonna happen. Like it all depends on how you want it to look like. Like I don't know.
Okay.
Another thing I love is that we're very interactive with our crowds. We've always have been, and I want to continue to do that.
Oh,
Yeah, at our last show,
It helps
we
us,
got
like,
everyone just like sit down on the floor while we played a really slow song, and I sat down on the stage, and we were all just sitting for like the longest time, and then we stood up and like moshed after that for like
So much
15
fun.
minutes. Yeah.
No, and I think you just answered my the question I had next. Do you prefer a big stage or playing on the floor in a corner?
We've only played on like one like
Like
really
3?
raised stage.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that was our
it
smallest
varies.
show,
Sometimes it's like
surprisingly.
curb height,
Mhm.
and I like that just because
Yeah.
it's like you're not up there far away from everybody.
I honestly think it feels cool though when there's more people and the stage is bigger.
Yeah.
True.
I feel
Yeah.
like the more people, the better. But those fun shows.
But
are
do you
always so
like
much
the
fun.
high stage or the low stage better?
I like it good in between, but with low you can like people can come up and stuff.
Yeah, they'll be a lot closer.
Well, a lot of
I've-
people
it's
like,
more
freak
intimate.
out too. Like a lot of people will be like, "I couldn't see you. Like I was in the
Yeah.
back of your show."
Oh,
you know
true.
what I mean?
Like,
I like to be
college
uplifted
guys
more.
pushing everyone in front of us. You can't see anything.
Everyone's trying to like get up to the front.
Yeah, it's good to have a higher stage if you want more people to see.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
funny to see how the audience stays like so far away at first when you're on a low stage because it's like awkward, and then
you like,
as you play song to
They start
song,
getting
everyone's
closer and
like
closer,
scooting
huh?
closer and closer until they're basically on the stage, like touching.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
Everyone wants to dance and stuff. It's really fun.
It's incredible.
Yeah, when my brother and I were playing with Los Nobles de la Sierra. We're the ones that made them like a norteño group because they didn't have drums before that, and I brought my brother and we started doing drums. And that's when there was one venue in because we would do the big Mexican dances here and stuff, and we were on the tall stages and stuff, but it just didn't have that personal touch, and me and him were definitely trying to bring like a punk rock energy to that band and to that style of music. But there was one venue in Montana. Where was it? It was in Bozeman.
I grew up there.
He knows a lot
Really?
about those.
Yeah, I grew up there. Yeah.
It wasn't Bozeman. It was, I can't remember what it was. No, another bigger town, or another, not bigger,
Big
but
Sky.
another more like a ski town, I think it was.
Was it Big Sky?
No, it wasn't Big Sky. But anyway, it was a Mexican restaurant, and they did these dances in the basement. And so the ceiling's this high. There was no stage. We would just do it in the corner. And yeah, the turnout wasn't like, there wasn't, hundreds of people like there were at some of the venues here. But, a couple dozen people crowded into that basement. I love those shows. And it felt like a punk show, but we were playing cumbias y norteñas. And
Just
it
more,
was awesome.
it's more intimate.
Yeah. And definitely, that crowd interaction. I love that you guys are like that, because that's something every band I've ever been in is we always try to get, that interaction with the crowd and get them to feel what you're feeling and vice versa. So
Yeah.
It's like my favorite thing when I'm watching someone perform and they're interactive. It just makes the whole experience better.
Yeah.
Do you guys find that you have different influences for performing than you do for the style of music?
I think so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I think so,
I think
probably.
we go more we like make it look more crazy than it actually is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like a slow song, we'll have our head bopping and not even like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll just be jumping around and like dancing with the crowd. I'll like take my guitar and just walk into the crowd and keep playing.
Yeah.
Or we'll dress
And then-
really funny. I want
yeah.
to do that a lot more too.
We'll like have a theme of what era to dress from,
Or just something.
or just
like that.
anything. Yeah, like suits and ties.
Yeah,
we did
I
one
want to do
time,
either
which is really
dresses
fun.
or suits and ties.
Dresses would be so fun.
Put on makeup.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. And that's, I guess, where do you get that? Is that just something or is that something that maybe you are emulating from other bands that do similar things?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I was gonna
Played
say,
in a
like
dress.
Nirvana, but I feel like that's really like basic, and everyone like wants to be like Nirvana.
Yeah.
But, like it's because I feel like they were
Sometimes
genuinely,
You're
like,
so
It's like the
influential. You
Strokes.
can't.
A lot of
the
people have done.
Strokes.
My dress wearing influence was Ruben Albarran from Café Tacuba. He used to always wear a dress, or he'd straight up dress up like a girl, but he'd have devil horns, and he'd do all sorts of different
sick.
performative stuff. He's the guy that every album he changed his name for, like the first five, maybe even 6 albums. He would never admit his real name, and every album just had him. They would credit him with a different name in each album, which was
That's cool.
Yeah,
just stuff like that. I mean, stuff like that. It really draws me in to artists.
we really like. I feel like we're.
It's a
we
part
really
of the
like
art.
Yeah, just
Exactly.
being creative with it and making it yours in your way.
Yeah.
Having fun with it.
So, what is art?
Just
Just
expressing.
anything that's original that wasn't there before.
Creativity.
Anything could be art. This
Yeah.
could be art.
Yeah, it's just kind of how you look at it.
Definitely how you take it.
Yeah.
The way it can make you feel by looking at it or hearing it, like even with like music too, like it's an art because it can make you feel a certain way, or even like drag you back and give you nostalgia to a certain memory you've had, or take you back to a place you lived, or anything even like that. It's a beautiful thing, and art is what you find beautiful.
True.
It's a good way to
True.
put it, expressing yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Maria? What do you think art is?
Creativity.
Do you think what you do is art?
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think so too.
Yeah.
She does. She has a place. She does aguas frescas with fruits.
Oh. Is it over by Planet Fitness or
No.
no?
It's next to T-Mobile, across from Jimmy John's on 25th.
I haven't been there.
Kind of by my work almost.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Where do you work?
Marco's Pizza.
Oh, yeah.
The new place.
See, and I think it's art because it's like what he said. It's something that wasn't there before. It's not cookie cutter at all. It's just it's something you created, and you're always making your new flavors and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's-
I'm always trying to invent new things, like make it my own, And I didn't invent aguas frescas, just like, they didn't invent music.
Yeah.
So I just try to make new flavors, think, what would go good together, what would look pretty together, because I feel like presentation is a huge, like aspect of, you know, like bringing it together. People eat with their eyes first, so if it looks appetizing, then, you know, it does great.
That's and I just saw a ton of parallels in everything you guys have been talking about right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you know, I mean, you look at the band first, and then you're gonna make some judgments whether you want to or not. You're already judging the band before they even start to play. So
yeah, I feel like the music is the most important thing. Like, I don't know, you could hear a lot about a band or like see a lot of them like everywhere, but without the music, there's no
band.
Yeah, there is no
Yeah.
band. I feel like everyone should listen to the music first and then kind of judge the band after.
yeah.
Or just not judge the band at all. Just the music's its own thing.
Yeah.
Well, exactly.
There's so many bands that you like.
Oh,
Imagine them to look some way and they do not look like how you think they would.
Yeah.
Like Duster.
Yeah.
A bunch of men with beards.
Some bands you'll see and you're like, dang, like they don't look like they play what I like, and
There's a
then
lot of
Look at
you listen and you're
that
like,
Corey.
dang.
You know, like
I like that.
Look at new metal bands. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
or sometimes it's the opposite. Like they look awesome, and then their music's
And
like,
then they're
I don't
kinda
like
shitty,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
The Hives. I like the Hives. They always wear tuxedos,
yeah,
and so it's just completely huge juxtaposition with the energy that they're actually playing with. So
right.
just stuff like that. The presentation is very important. Now, as far as influence, kind of going back to what we were saying before, and kind of what you're saying now, actually, the judging of the music, the product. What do you think of you know, pop artists and the products that they put out?
I don't really like it.
Is it still
I'm
art?
not like there when they're making it.
Yeah.
But I just have heard a lot about the formula kind of stuff. They have like 35 people working on one song, and it's like a team of people basically in a cubicle making just the next hit.
Beats too.
And when you listen to it, like it's so catchy.
It's just not
but
original.
it's like
Yeah, you said the most important part was the music.
Well, I don't think they actually like care. I feel like they're just handed beats and just do what they're told.
Yeah.
I don't.
Look at Taylor Swift. Like she's been
Yeah.
making the same
Like,
music
you
for
can
like
take that
10
as art,
years.
but-
Like
You could-
it's a certain type of art, but it's been
Yeah.
the same thing. You gotta. I feel like
There's
you
an
have to put out.
extent, I feel like, where it's
Yeah.
considered like actually working hard for it.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like if you don't like try to push yourself out of the comfort zone and progress your music, and it's all just kind of the same four chords in a different key over and over, it just gets really old. Not fun to listen to.
But I think it's changing too, though, slowly. Because I remember I used to hate country music.
Yeah.
Hate
yeah.
country music. But then we got, you know, artists now that are pop, but they got like country to them, and I'm like, hey, like that's good.
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of the exact opposite. I always hated country, but what got me into it is the really old, like songwriter ballad country, like Marty Robbins and stuff. And then also, I guess there's a new guy named Coulter Wall. You guys heard him?
I've heard of them.
He's pretty good. He's kind of gotten me into more country stuff. It's just like him and his guitar usually, but I like the songwriter ballad style, the older
A lot of
style.
those old country artists, the songwriters, Merle Haggard, Hank Williams, I would even put them in the same category as punk, the original punk rock guys, and the original rappers. They all come from poverty. They all wrote their songs about their poverty stories,
Yeah.
and that's what brought them up.
It's all poetry.
And they were all really creative. They were always talking about some theme that is fun to think about and talk about. And then nowadays, a lot of rappers are just rapping about lean and,
just stupid stuff.
and clothes and like
Those first guys
girls
were so
and
cool.
whatever catches people's
I was
attention.
about to give you guys a
Drugs
gallon
and
of lean, but
clothes. It's like drugs and clothes.
Yeah,
I mean,
Clothes.
Chains and
I mean, drugs and girls.
titty rap.
The new car.
The new car.
Now we were talking about that earlier, actually, where you look at the past kind of with rose-tinted glasses, where we're only remembering the good stuff, and now that we're talking about rap, it kind of reminds me of a good example of that, especially since Straight Outta Compton came out.
Oh, that's it.
We only, I mean, everybody now admits that it's art. Everybody admits now that it's poetry, but we're only listening to the ones that are against cops, that are against injustices. We're not talking about all the misogynistic stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So can an artist be both things? I mean, can you like them and despite the terrible shit that they've done, or even the art that they put out that is still very questionable?
Yeah, definitely. That's a good point, because a lot of it could be looked at like that.
Yeah, you can like something but not like another thing.
Maybe just when it's older, people kind of forget. Yeah, like you were saying, the bad things, and it kind of gets more and more glorified because it's aged.
And they leave them out of the
they don't
biopic.
do it like they used to.
Example, Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that Michael Jackson did music when I heard about him. I thought he was just a pedophile. Literally.
Usually it's the opposite.
Yeah.
That's how I knew Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
That's
and then what was it? Maybe when I was like 18, 19, 20, that's when I started like, oh, that's Michael Jackson. Well, I didn't even know he did music.
Yeah, that's
My kids.
Do you like
That's
Michael
awesome.
Jackson?
I do now.
Yeah, okay. Some people, it's like they don't like Michael Jackson because of that, and that's okay.
I don't
Like,
because of that, and because his music's not that good. He has like
Yeah.
2 good songs.
Yeah.
it's
I'm
it's hard
surprised.
to
And one of those is only good because of the guitar solo, and it's like
Yeah.
it's hard to separate art
he
from
didn't play,
artists.
he didn't play that guitar.
Sometimes.
I feel like, again, with that question, like I feel like it brings me back to like the way like the music can make you feel. So even if it is talking about bad stuff or certain poverty, like I listen to a lot of even metal with horrible lyrics, but like that's not how I'm feeling when I'm listening to the song. You know what I mean? Like even when it comes to rap, you know, like it can make you feel a certain way other than wanting to do stuff what they're saying in the song. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, do you guys think that when you're making a biopic about an artist, do you think they should include some of that bad stuff?
Yeah, actually,
I keep going to Straight Outta Compton. They didn't include a single one of the, I mean, they didn't include any of the Easy songs where he kills a transgendered person because he was trying to fuck her and it turns out she had a dick.
Right.
They didn't include that song.
Yeah.
They just included the good ones. But should they include the good with the bad?
The music is really important, and it's more important than the person, because it's like,
but the movie's about the person.
It's a separate thing. But if the movie's about the person, they definitely gotta include it.
Yeah,
like,
really important.
sometimes you should know who you're listening to. Yeah.
And then you can make your decision based off of that. And
I think that's a lot that's wrong with society, is like that they only want to point out certain things about people. Like, for example, when somebody dies, everybody talks about how great they were. But when they're still alive, they don't talk about, they don't stop talking to them. They don't like them.
Yeah.
They're horrible people. But once they die, they're the greatest people alive.
that's when all they remember is the good stuff. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, true.
And I think you just have to be real. Like, that's what I try to be all the time. Like, I'm not gonna be fake and just talk about the good things if there's also bad things.
Yep.
And that actually leads us to what we want to end this show with. I've been ending this series, this Rowdy Radio series, with the same question to almost all my guests. We started on the 2nd episode. But you're talking about people dying, so I'm going to have to ask each of you guys to think of it. You guys are young, so I don't know if you know how hard it is to pick, groomsmen or bridesmaids. Have you had bridesmaids any of the 7 times that you've been married?
7 times? No, I have not.
So nobody here really knows how hard it is. But some people think it's hard, some people think it's easy, but that's not what we're going to talk about. We're actually going to talk about the end. Something that actually doesn't affect you because you're not going to be there to see it, but pallbearers. Let's go ahead and start with you. And if you died tomorrow, who are your pallbearers? 6 people, 3 on each side.
Can you go into more depth? I'm sorry.
Pallbearers, the people that carry your casket on the way to your hole.
6 people?
Yes.
That's really tough.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably go with, I'm thinking about immediate family right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like my brother, sister, mom. At least on one side. There's 6, correct?
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. That's really tough. I'd definitely go with those 3. Maybe grandma. Maybe grandma on the other side. And then I don't know. I'll throw my dad in there. And then spouse.
Your significant
6
other.
people.
All right, that's good.
Yeah. I would choose probably my family because there's 7 of us, so that's
That's
perfect.
perfect.
You didn't have to
Easy
think
out.
about it.
I don't know, my little sister, maybe I would swap with my fiance, but
No, okay.
maybe,
Your little
maybe
sister
not. Maybe not. We'll see.
Is she a little too little for it?
Yeah, she's probably too short to even carry the casket, so that would work
Lopsided.
perfect.
There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with a little lopsided there.
I don't want them dropping me, so.
Why can you even care?
Yeah, true. I don't gotta say. But,
You know, I'm honestly gonna have to stick with these two about it. You know, family first. You know what I mean? I definitely have my mom, my sisters, and my little brothers as well. You know,
Yeah.
just because you know they play a big role in my life as much as I do for them. You know.
Yeah, it's insane how young these guys are. Let me tell you what. These are answers, very different answers than what I've been getting.
Really?
Because
What have you been getting?
I've been basing on it. It's difficult for people to choose
yeah.
because the older you get, the less you rely on family.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, a lot of those times it's because of things that happen that you choose not to rely on family anymore.
Yeah.
So
My family's super close, so
Mm.
yeah, that's a no-brainer for me.
yeah, that's good. That's good, and I hope. I mean, I don't want to like curse any of you guys about
No,
it.
yeah.
I'm just saying. I hope it remains that
Yeah.
way.
I feel like there's
in 10 years,
there's
you know?
too much shit that's already gone down to break us apart at this point.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
it
that's
was
how I
fucked
feel as
up for a
well.
while, so now it's like we know, and we're like we talk about everything. So yeah, I feel like there's nothing hidden.
That's
Even
good.
if it's like a bad thing, we'll
Yeah.
just be like, well, I don't care. I still
Yeah,
love
what's
you.
new?
You'll be
A
all
little
right.
bump in the road.
Well, I just really hope that remains that way for
Yeah, me
a
too.
good long time, forever. Hopefully. What about you, Maria? I know
What about
your
me? Oh
your
my
answer's gonna be different as fuck.
I
know
probably
that
don't
much.
even have like 6 people. No, for sure I have my 2 brothers. I have 4 brothers, but I'd only trust 2 of them. As far as parents go, no. My kids would definitely be there. If they're old enough to carry me, they'd be the ones carrying me. I know.
And you have
for
3
sure.
children, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
You need
And
one more.
my best friend, Maritza.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She's short too, though. Isn't
She is
Yeah,
short. She's like 4'11".
I think that's a problem we've been coming up with on a lot of these is you'll have like 2 really tall friends and then the rest of the people are really short, and so you're kind of trying to figure out the best configuration for
I
it.
should make my ex-husbands carry me. But
There you
they'd
go.
probably throw me.
All 7 of them. You have one left over.
One that's over.
7 of them.
He can be the
Illegal.
flower boy or whatever.
Making me look bad.
Just throwing flowers behind your casket. No,
It's
yeah.
only been 2, not 7.
Oh, yeah, okay, we'll clarify that. Then.
It feels like 7.
It has
though.
been 2. It has been 2. Just make those 2 motherfuckers carry you. They
Yeah.
man enough to marry you. They should be man enough to carry
Carry
you.
me.
Yeah.
Ya los mantení. Just kidding.
Well, that's good. And you do have 3 kids. What are any of your kids like into music or arts or anything?
My oldest, she's very talented. She loves to draw. She just has all kinds of talent.
Yeah.
It's crazy. She does so many things that I'm like,
What do you do if your boy ends up looking like one of these guys?
I mean, it is what it is.
Looking forward to that, right?
He wanted to get some tinsel in his hair.
Oh,
one
yeah,
day
yeah,
at the
yeah.
high
Tell me
school.
about that.
Yeah, and I'm like, thank God I didn't let him because the girls got it ripped out of their hair. So
Oh, yeah, by their dad.
by their dad. So I can't imagine what he
That
would have
was
done.
cool. I didn't see any boys doing it. I wish they would have.
I think there was one, but he had
I
longer
need to
hair.
redo my nails, by the way.
Yeah.
Speaking of which.
It all comes from like a supportive family too. That's just
Yeah.
one thing
Yeah.
that made me realize is like if your family doesn't support you doing music, like you kind of just it's hard to not have that support.
Definitely, you gotta have
Yeah.
some fans.
I mean, you
like,
can-
your family's gotta
Yeah.
be fans at first, so
Oh,
that
yeah.
I feel like it builds confidence a lot. Like when I started learning stuff, my mom would always be like, "Come up and play a song for the family," even though I like hated.
And you hated it,
I
yeah.
couldn't really sing and play at the same time, and then I feel like that like. Thinking back on it, it built so much confidence for me to be able to play in front of other people. Because, I don't know, I've heard stories about when someone's mom will be like, you suck at singing when they're little, and for the rest of their life, like, they never sing again. And that's really sad. So just being, like, super supportive is really important.
I just feel like as a parent as well, you should, like, let your kid be open to finding things on their own and not, like, lock them in. You know what I mean? Because I'm really glad that my mom was, like, open enough to let me, like, find everything on my own, you know, and that whether that comes to, like, religion, music, or anything like that, she's always been supportive about it, you know, and never, like, disagreed with me.
Yeah, I think that's another big evolution now is parents are for the most part very supportive of anything.
And my parents are cool as shit. Like my mom used to follow the Grateful Dead around.
Oh, she was a Deadhead?
Yeah, my dad used to go to every Judas Priest show and Ozzy show. He grew up like on the Strip in Las Vegas, and then my mom's from Salmon, so there's like two different things, and it made me want to be like as cool as them, like cool music, cool clothes, and their like past and stuff. So
parents definitely like influence like your music. I definitely feel like my mom used to listen to a lot of like new metal, such as like System of a Down, Korn, any like Breaking Benjamin, stuff like that, like like just all that like emo new metal rock, and it's just crazy because that's what really made me base off what I like, and I've just built from that.
I guess it just kind of depends how modern your parents were. I think that's what helped.
Culture. They don't come from Mexican families.
That's what I was actually going at, because I think if me and all three of my brothers were always a little bit different than a lot of our other friends, Mexican friends. But you look at a lot of my friends, their parents' old pictures, they look like they're in like La Revolución Mexicana. They look like they live out there. And then you look at my parents' pictures from when they were young, and they look like they're like disco people.
Yeah.
They were hip, you know. They had their bell bottoms. They had my dad had an afro, and so it was like they were a little bit more modern than a lot of my friends.
Yeah.
And so we were brought up in a lot more different way. Now, as far as parents though, support what you were talking about. My dad hated us playing music at the house. But whenever he got a compliment out about someone seeing us at a show, then he was super proud.
Yeah.
But at the house, he hated it. But my mom was on the other side of that. She was at almost every Big Z to Killdozer show. She was at a lot of the dances once we started playing. She was our biggest. She has been always our biggest fan. And now she supports these 2 podcasts I'm making too. So
that's awesome. It's like Coco, right? Coco.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it has a lot to do with your parents, how you grew up, and how supportive they are. Like how you were talking about, you know, if they tell you that you suck at singing, you're always going to think you suck at singing.
Yeah.
Like, for example, for me, like, I love to do my nails all the time. I do my nails all the time. And when I was like 8 years old and I started painting my fingernails, my mom, I took a bottle of red fingernail polish, and she smacked me. And she said, that's the color horse wear. No, you're not allowed. The first time I ever put red in my fingernails, like, I just felt dirty.
Yeah.
And it was hard. I had to go back a week later and change it because I was like, I don't like it. It's just not me.
It plants a seed in like a little kid brain that just grows into something big, like a big problem.
Right.
So,
being like you, as a parent, being supportive and you know, telling your kids they're doing great, and I think that's a huge thing. So I'm glad you guys have that.
And that's not even true. I've never once been to a whore with red fingernails.
Me either.
You guys ever been to a whore with red fingernails?
Yeah.
No comment. I'm gonna cancel that question. I'm gonna deny that offer.
Yeah. But yeah, we kind of went off on that a little bit there, but I think this is about the end of the show there, so I'll let you guys plug away. I know I have a show this weekend, I believe, but you know, this won't be out by then. Go ahead and plug it. I'll clip it and put it out before then, at least just the clip, and any other shows that you want to direct people to, or to your socials, whatever you guys want to plug.
All right, thank you. What is it? This Friday, the 10th, me and Jamon's band Semore Hardcore, Emotional Hardcore, is playing at the Heart, Idaho Falls by Fred Meyer. Show starts at 8. And then on the 18th, the Saturday.
We got at the rink in Rexburg, Idaho. We got Frog Breath, or Time Freaks now Frog Breath.
We should make a new Instagram. We'll make a new Instagram here soon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah, like I said, I'll clip this and put it out before then. The episode doesn't come out for a couple of weeks though, so definitely get me those. If you make those Instagrams, I'll definitely link them on the episode, so people can go follow you.
Yeah, I'll send them to you.
Yeah, if you guys want to check out our music, we're pretty good. So
Oh yeah.
you guys should pull up to the show. It's fun, even for a bit.
If you want to see our old band, look up Time Freaks Band on YouTube.
Yeah, we got some clips.
You can look up Ocean Beach, the original.
Search that too.
2 years.
We
old.
sound better in person though.
Yeah. More energy.
Bad iPhone videos.
Yeah, parents' videos.
yeah, parents, siblings, whatever we can get.
It's better than nothing, man. Everybody has a camera now. I wish I had a lot more footage than what I have from back in the day. You know?
Yeah.
So.
Everyone's just like moshing. No one cares to film.
Yeah. Which is good. It's good. I mean, you want that, but at the same time, it's like it's good that nobody's filming. That people are actually
being genuine and getting
living in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like White Stripe style. Jack White made sure took everybody's phones away before they came into the show back in the day.
I would love to do that.
That's
Except
sick.
we don't have that problem, but if we did that, phones are so annoying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to be playing, and then there's just
I don't know
like
if he
a
still does
flashlight
it,
in
but
your
back
face.
in the White Stripes, I know that was the thing. Is you go to a White Stripe show, you can have your phone. If he saw it out, he'd get it confiscated,
That's actually
which is
Yeah.
insane.
Like at church.
Yeah, did they confiscate phones at church? Church is dumb.
My
You know why
parents
church
did.
is fucking dumb? Because it's a bunch of adults scared to break the rules. Like we left church early once because they were just they were already done with church. Like the priest was done, but they kept talking about other stuff afterwards. And we're like, well, this is not what I came for, you know. And so we walked out, and everybody's looking at us all scared. I'm like, what are they gonna do? Fucking, we're adults. Like, what do they fucking do? Fucking leave. And thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
The amount of the volume of music that you guys are making is incredible. I really admire that. And but other than that, this is Roddy Radio with Maria. We got Jamon. We got Izzy. What was your name? I'm sorry.
Canon. Yep.
And we're out.
Thank you.
Hear
the song now.
I made the beat and then I put an unauthorized sample on it, so I'm just seeing how long we can use it before. Can you name the song?
Before you get
The
sued.
sample, yeah. No. It's sample of Season of the Witch by Donovan.
Nice.
Old.
We'll see. Thank you.